Sarah, I said, you don't have.
Okay, very good. This is the Town of Belgrade Planning Board meeting of August 7th, 2025. We'll start off with a roll call, starting with planning board members, and I'll ask members of the audience and our one and only Zoom attendee to introduce himself. Well, I'll do it. Penny Morels from the planning board, Rich Baker, Peter Sargent, Nick Zaccaro, myself, George Seal, Craig Alexander, town's code enforcement officer, Hans Rasmussen, and if you folks, starting with you, ma'am.
Karen Allen,
Jeff Allen from AE Hudson.
Start.
Raymond Hewitt.
Ramya Spalding,
Jeffrey Spalding.
And Doug, if you would.
here.
Andy Dunn.
Doug Frame,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep, thank you, Doug. So with that, we'll dive right in. Sarah Langette, the chair, is not going to be here tonight, and she asked me to chair tonight's meeting as in my role as vice chair. Sort of like being vice president, you really don't have much to do, but anyway, we will take up the shoreline zoning application of the Spalding family, and also Doug Frame is here as well. And this was a project that we took up at our last meeting. The planning board did a site visit on July 22nd, which was quite informative. And my thanks to the Spaldings for having outlined everything so nicely with stakes and flagging for us, including the 75-foot demarcation line from the normal high water, the 100-foot line, and also the new location of the replacement or new principal structure. I did put together notes from that meeting. Again, they're just my observations, which I believe Hans has put into the project file. And copies are in all your packets if you didn't receive it previously. I'm not going to spend any time going over it. I will just mention who was at the site visit from the planning board. Nick was there, Craig was there, I was there, Hans was there.
Sarah.
Doug was there, and the Spaldings were there as well.
Sarah as well.
And Sarah as well came. Sarah came later, but she did come. So that was very helpful, at least to me. With that, I don't know if Mr. and Mrs. Spalding want to do this, or you want to do it, Doug, but maybe you could just summarize the revised site plan that has been submitted. Some of this was discussed at the site visit, but not everybody was at the site visit. Rich wasn't there, Penny wasn't there, Pete wasn't there.
And I just want to add something to that. I did a drive by there, either Saturday morning, Sunday morning. I'm familiar with the area anyways. And I'm familiar with the site before, and I took a look at the stakes and all that. And I have no doubt it's a nice laid out, plan.
Thank you. And are you ready for me to introduce it?
Yes, please.
I'll do my best. Thankfully, my clients are two engineers that are very sharp and super helpful with this process. And Jeff and Ramya have put together the site plan, and they regenerated it after our meeting on site with the recommendations as far as vegetating areas. For example, where the current driveway is, where the existing house is, all that area will be revegetated, and where the sheds currently are. As you can see on the site plan that we resubmitted to Hans, it shows the entire house behind the 75-foot setback, and then a good portion of it behind the 100-foot setback. And the closest corner of the house is the 25 point, a little small on mine, 25.6 feet off the road edge, which is something that we had outlined when we were there. Jeff is also showing the trees that are there. And you can see all the different pins. You can see the septic leach field, which is there, the well. And I think it's outlined pretty well. And I don't think there's anything else I could add, unless Jeff and Ramya have anything to add to that.
Oh, we put in the dotted line for where the we have the roof there and have. the
Correct.
dotted line.
Yep.
There is, it's a little easier seen on the big plan, but.
Doug, you said the closest was 25.6, but on the plan it says 26.85.
I think that's because of the roof drip edge. Nick, if you look at it, we had a footprint of the foundation on there, and we wanted to make sure that the roof drip line was the accurate line. So if you look at the plan, I dropped off a large set for Hans earlier today. I think it's probably in front of you. And you can see that how Jeff added that overhang to the plan, and that's what we've
Okay.
made of.
Yeah, as long as it says it on the big plan.
Yep.
Yeah, I see. Beautiful.
So,
On our little plan, it doesn't, that's all.
yeah, Hans,
Yeah.
this is
One submit.
project, will go in the project file,
Yeah.
right?
That is the correct one that I dropped off to Hans, and I sent it to him earlier in the week, and I believe he put that out for the agenda. And I just wanted to make sure you guys had a full-size version to look at while you were there today.
That's the one we submit. This one just doesn't have it, so it's just for the records. That would be the official.
What I'd like to do, so there's no confusion, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months in the future as to which plan is the plan we're operating off of. Either Mr. or Mrs. Spalding, if you wouldn't mind dating this and
It should
initialing it,
be dated
and
definitely.
maybe indicating it as final.
Okay,
Oh, okay, if you could,
there is a date difference.
yeah, thank you. I didn't see that.
Dated here as 8/7.
Thank you very much. Anybody else want to see that? Anything else that any of the three of you would like to say at this point before I open it up to questions from the board?
I'd just like to apologize for not being present, heading to the airport to pick up my daughters and grandson who's coming in from Oklahoma City, so I had to be a little closer to Portland.
Understood. Questions from members of the board? Oh, one thing we should decide right now is, yeah, which of you two, Rich, you're senior, do you want to be the voting member on this application then?
Okay, yes.
Okay.
I would say that I didn't make the site visit. Does that kind of disqualify me for voting on this? And I'm familiar, I read George's memo and looking at.
That doesn't disqualify.
Yeah, no, as long as you public stated that you reviewed the application and the amended drawing and the note, at least my notes. I don't see where that would disqualify you. Anyway, questions from the board to the applicant?
I just got one question.
Peter?
Is, I wanna make sure you're comfortable with the setback from the road and the building you propose. You're gonna think about the snow, and you're gonna be plowing, during the winter time. so you got enough room, you think you have to plow the snow and all that stuff, because that's it could be a consideration, you know. If you have to move back and ready to crack it, that's something for the practicability, you know, is this enough room for you back there? To plow snow
Peter,
plow
we-
out?
Because of where the driveway is, there's more setback on that side of the house. So on the driveway side, there's actually 35 feet, I think.
Yeah,
Peter,
plus-
Thank you for your concern, Peter. We did look at that and we are comfortable with that. We feel like it's a good compromise where it is right now. I appreciate your concern there.
The only thing I had.
Any
The
other
only
questions?
Question I have, I think it was answered maybe earlier. The place where the old camp is being removed is gonna be revegetated.
That's correct. And it's noted on that plan as well, Richard. We added that verbiage to the plan, the one that Jeff just signed.
Yeah, I put in a note that just marked, that just.
Yeah, right.
There aren't any other questions. I guess, we're ready to move on to the, findings of fact and law. To make our, by which we make our decision. I apologize in advance because this is incredibly boring stuff, but hard. Thank you. As we found the hard way. So this is, findings of fact, conclusions of law for the shoreline zoning permit. For, Rayma and Jeff Spalding, and, represented in part by Doug Frame. I will not, reiterate all the, boilerplate. Other than to say that the application was presented to the planning board on July 17th, 2025, and again today, 8/7. And we'll get right into the conclusions of the law. Hans, isn't there a place where we put when the date of the,
Yeah, top line, it's in bold. I mean, it's like first paragraph. Everything that we've added in, that's.
yeah, no, I was gonna say, the date that we held the site visit and who went.
No.
No, I'm thinking of a different one. Excuse me. Anyway, moving on, conclusions of law. This is a, non-conforming lot, with a replacement principal structure, following the demolition of the current principal structure. And the board will vote on each one of these, and our decision will be based on the, application submittal and, the public record. To speed things along a little bit. I'm gonna use, I'm gonna abbreviate that in the future to BASPR. So the first conclusion of law, will this maintain a safe and healthful condition? Rich,
Yes.
Pete,
Yes,
Nick?
Yes,
Yes. I also vote yes, 5-0. And the standard was met. Will not result in water pollution, erosion, or sedimentation to surface waters by a vote of board found this standard, was met. Rich?
It will not, and the standard was met. I'm not, But will
Yes.
whatever you.
Was met?
Yeah, we'll say.
How's that?
We'll say was met.
Wasn't it?
Yes, was met.
Yes.
I as well, 5-0. Again,
You're on the hot seat tonight.
PR, so that, again, it's based on the application submittal and public record. The application will adequately provide for the disposal of all wastewater. By a vote of the board found the standard was met. Rich?
Was met.
Wasn't it?
Yes,
Yes.
I am yes as well, so 5-0. Will not the application will not have, proposal will not have an adverse impact on spawning grounds, fish, aquatic life, bird, or other wildlife habitat. By a vote of the board found the standard was met.
Was met. Yes.
Yes,
yes,
Yes.
And I also am yes, so that's 5-0 in favor. Again, based on application submittal and public record is our justification. Proposal will conserve shore cover and visual as well as actual points of access to inland waters. Is this applicable in anybody's mind? It's a particular case.
Okay, well, doesn't matter because of what.
We will, let's move forward with it. By a vote of the board found the standard was met.
Was
Rich,
met.
wasn't it?
yes,
Yes.
I am also yes, 5-0. Will protect archaeological and historical resources as designated in the comprehensive plan. By a vote of the board found this standard was met. Rich?
Yes.
Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
I am also voting yes, 5-0. The application will avoid problems associated with floodplain development and use. By a vote of the board found this standard was met. Rich?
Yes.
Yes,
yes,
Yes.
I am also voting yes, 5-0, yes. This next item, which has to do with conformance with section 15, the land use standards of the shoreline zoning ordinance, has 23, no, 22 things we have to make a finding about. And we'll handle this the way we normally do and figure out which ones are not applicable, and then we'll vote on the remainder. The first is minimum lot standards. I would say that's applicable. Principal and accessory structures, that's applicable. Campgrounds, NA. Individual private campsites, NA. Commercial and industrial uses. NA. Parking areas, I would say that's applicable. Roads and driveways, NA. Signs, NA. Stormwater runoff, that's applicable. Septic waste disposal systems, there's no change, the existing system, no, there is a new system, yeah, so that's applicable.
We're putting a new system in.
Yeah, right, thank you. Essential services,
No.
mineral exploration and extraction. Agriculture. Timber harvesting and land management roads, NA. clearing or removal of vegetation for activities other than timber harvesting. There will be none, just some pruning and the like, but I think that's still relevant. Hazard trees, storm damaged trees, or dead tree removal, there's none of that proposed. NA. Exemptions to clearing and vegetation removal requirements, there's been none requested. Revegetation requirements, yeah, that applies. Erosion and sedimentation control, that applies. Shoreline stabilization, that's NA. Soils, that applies since this new septic system is in play. Water quality, that applies. Historical and archaeological sites, that's NA, not one of the 4 in town. And resource protection, that is not resource protection, that's NA. So the ones that we need to vote on are in mass as a lot are minimum lot standards, principal and accessory structure standards, the standard for parking areas, standard for stormwater runoff, septic waste disposal system standard. Clearing and removal of vegetation for activities other than timber harvesting standard. Revegetation requirements. Erosion and sedimentation control standard. Soil standard, water quality standard. That's it. So by a vote of the board found that this standard was made based on the evidence in the record. And the application submittal. Rich?
Yes, it does make.
Pete?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
I also vote yes, so that's 5-0. Is I haven't heard anything to this effect yet. Does anybody feel like there might need to be a project specific condition of approval? I personally don't. Yeah.
Certified.
Yeah,
They have that.
well, Doug,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear Craig.
Do you have Brandon's DEP number handy?
Mine's on the application. I'm DEP certified 3560.
yeah, I thought it was on the application.
It was on the original one. It might not have got transferred to the one that Hans is using, but it's on
Okay.
the
356.
0.
Okay.
Yep.
Very good. So there's a standard condition of approval. Doug probably has heard this too many times. I'll just read it for you, just so you know. The conditions of approval needed to meet required Belgrade Shoreline Zone ordinance findings in section 16D, and it just reads: manage stormwater runoff from new and or expanded structures in accordance with section 15I of the Belgrade shoreline zoning ordinance, and and this is the guts of it. The Maine Department of Environmental Protection's best management practices as outlined in the conservation practices for homeowners publication. Such measures are to be put in place prior to building's use. I would just note that that DEP publication is available on the town's website. If you go to the planning board page, you'll find it in the left-hand column. Doug's very familiar with its requirements. So, I would entertain a motion with regard to the application overall, based on these findings of fact and law.
I'll make a motion that the application of the Spaldings be approved without any specific conditions.
Second,
Seconded.
Craig seconds. Rich made the motion. All those in favor, Rich?
Aye.
Pete?
Yes,
Nick?
Yes,
Yes.
And I also vote yes, so, okay, vote of 5-0, shoreline permit application, the Spaldings, has been approved. So. What are we doing here in a minute? So there's a part of a sentence that I'm scratching out and I'll initial it. We got into having to do this because we had a case that we approved, that was appealed. And, the appeals board remanded it or sent it back to us because we hadn't done findings of fact in law. And because of that one case, there's still language in here that says on remand from Belgrade Board of Appeals. That clearly doesn't apply in this case at all. And so adopted these findings on 8/7/25, and I'm gonna sign it for Sarah.
George, while you're signing that, we'd just like to thank you guys for taking the time to come out and do the site visit. I think that was super helpful, and I want to thank Jeff and Ramya for doing such a good job setting that up.
Yeah, no, it was helpful. It was certainly helpful to me. Cleared up a lot of questions for me. Any last questions from you folks for us? Hans, they'll get the permit in the mail? So,
I'll stop in and see Hans.
okay, very good. All right, Hans, this is for you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Good
Doug.
hands with Mr. Frank.
Right.
Oh,
Thank you.
we all got one more thing to sign.
Thanks, Doug.
Thanks. Can you do that? We,
Yeah, I signed and,
no, you're done.
Yep,
thank you, thank
you're
you.
welcome. Have a good evening. Okay, Jeff, you're next up. We actually have, two applications, for KEF Corporation, AKA Camp Moden. The first we're gonna take up is the shoreline zoning application, and dispense of that with that so that, it'll just make well, that's the order on, Hans, rightly put that first on the agenda, and that way it'll make processing of the second application smoother. So Jeff, if you'd like to make any introductory comments on.
Well, we introduced this project last month, but Mr. Hewitt, our neighbor, wasn't there. So what I want to do is just kind of go over it quickly. This is we'll start with the this plan kind of shows the entire camp. And the area we're looking at is, this is Smithfield Road is up here. In the lake, goes around like this. We're just looking at this area down near the water. It is just barely in the shoreline zone, the 250-foot shoreline zone setback, and that's defined by this area here. The reason shoreline zone is kind of bent like that is because the main body of the lake is over here. There's a little finger of the lake that comes up over here. And so we're still have to maintain the 250-foot setback from there. So, about a third of our building, maybe 40% of our building is in that shoreline zone, so that necessitated the permit. The building we're proposing, this is for Camp Moden, is about a 3,000 square foot craft building, single story. They'll do crafts and other activities in there, you know, primarily during inclement weather or at other times. It's being built on top of the old field hockey court. They'll be removing part of that hard surface and replacing it with a roof. So there's no net change in the impervious area running off the site. It was hard pavement, now it's going to be shingles and a roof. The building will be served by water from the system, the well that serves the camp now. And it'll have underground electric here coming into it across a little, you know, bridge from not a bridge, but a little path coming from the camp. And wastewater will go out from a new force main. It's gonna be pumped out here back to the existing septic system. There's really no change in the septic system because of population, whether they use the bathroom here or use the bathroom at their camp. The same number of kids gonna be there. They're not bringing in any additional campers for this purpose. I think that's kind of the main. Mr. Hewitt and I had a little bit of discussion and before the meeting started with the application is called a commercial development application. He was concerned that they were going to be doing some commercial activities there. They're not. It's just going to be recreational activities and stuff like that for the kids. So.
Is there any plans for like runoff gutters, runoff water, you can divert it?
Right now, everything just kind of runs off the
Yeah.
court, in sheet flow. We're planning on leaving it just sheet flow coming off the roof in the drip edges or whatever. We hadn't planned on putting gutters in because that actually kind of concentrates it and to make it more erosive. One side, of course, will be coming off and going onto the court, so it's a hard surface anyway. The other side going off the back it's gonna be a little bit on the court, but mostly just on the gravel that's around that area. So no, we hadn't made any particular changes in stormwater.
I had a question. Mr. Hewitt, you're sitting here and you obviously want to find out more about it. Do you understand what is being planned here in the application?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Other questions for Jeff?
I have a couple. I noted in the application, the lot area in the shoreline zone is left blank, and I just kind of point out, I could have it, a number.
It's very difficult to calculate because the shoreline runs all the way around.
It's not like I don't think it's
You just,
acceptable project or what you're
Yeah.
doing. But,
Yeah.
The other thing that occurred to me when I got to the shoreline zoning application, I was looking and I didn't see anything regarding building height and what the building looks like and, you know, under the other application, commercial, never really occurred to me too much, but then I go back to the shoreline zoning ordinance and I think of the requirements for side and height and stuff like that,
A
side.
profile drawing of
Yeah,
the structure.
yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. We had multiple site plans, but
Yeah, I
You
don't,
have anything like that?
I do not. They, as far as I know, they haven't designed the building yet. It's just going to be a single story. It probably will be, a steeper roof, so they don't have to deal with snow on the roof. But it would be, you know, less than a 12-12 pitch, so it would be, certainly less than your.
But the height of the
35.
peak would be, what do you? There, what's 250 there?
Will the peak be in the shoreline zone?
Yeah, maybe this end would be a little bit, but at least half the peak is outside the shoreline zone.
250 is what?
So it's within
30,
100 feet.
20, 25.
Yeah, that's within 100 feet, right? I'd be 100 feet.
Well, it's beyond.
It's 250.
250.
It's
250, 25. 25 would be the max height.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Right.
So on that end of the building, it'll be, it can only be 25. Yeah, I can pass that along.
We can deal with that with the condition.
Yeah, that could be it.
Yeah. Good point.
The last thing I had, and it actually would probably help you, but in present, in the application, present structure square footage, you've got 0. What you really have is whatever the size of that rink is or whatever. So you're actually reducing, or maybe not reducing, but you're not making any worse. But that should be the size of the rink on that square footage.
Okay, I was confused by structure. I was thinking of a building.
Yeah,
And it is a
technically
structure.
meets the definition of a structure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there isn't, as you say, no net change to that.
No change, yeah.
Anything impervious, right? Anything.
Well,
poured
anything,
concrete.
for the support, what they, I don't have the exact wording in the definition, but if you were going to build a basketball court or whatever, it technically meets the definition.
Right,
There's
like a patio or,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it'll be very similar to a patio.
getting back to the stormwater management, Jeff, this, like the application that you heard before us, will have that same standard condition. To
Yes.
follow the DEP, BMPs, which I know you're familiar with. Any
I
other?
guess making
Oh, go ahead, Rich.
a comment to Mr. Hewitt. Typically, I mean, the campground technically is a commercial operation, because they're making, you know, I assume they're making, they're running the camp to make money.
Make it up.
But campgrounds themselves are allowed in a limited residential district, which this is. So you really, you don't want to designate a commercial area if you don't have to, because this type of thing is allowed in that residential district under the ordinance.
So what's the limit from property line he's gonna be away from the structure?
10 feet.
I thought it's 15.
I'm about 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I have.
There's a 25 feet from a private road, 10 feet from the property line. If it's a public road, it's 35 feet.
Yeah.
No other questions? Are we ready to move on to the findings of fact?
I'm gonna fix that last page.
So, like the application. Like the application before this. This one, also a shoreline zoning, permit application. We need to do these findings of fact and conclusions of law. And this is for the application at KEF Corporation, 51 Bowden Way, lot 50, map 15, lot 7 and 8. And again, I won't go through the boilerplate, which is redundant with the application itself, but the application was presented to the planning board on 8/7/2025. Today's the first meeting we've actually viewed this specific permit application, although we've talked about the project overall at the last meeting as well. So for conclusions of law, we'll start off with the first one, which is will the project maintain safe and healthful conditions by a vote of the board found the standard was met? Rich?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, 5-0, I also vote yes. Again, this is gonna be in terms of justification based on application submittals and the public record. And just for everybody's benefit, public record is the recording of this meeting, any back and forth discussions, questions, answered, and their answers, and so. Actually, before we go any further, sir, do you have any other questions that you might like to ask the board or?
No, I'm all set.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, very good.
I know the site well.
Okay, good. Very
Been
good.
there.
Okay, good. Sometimes I kind of get on a roll and I kind of just blow right by everybody. The application will not result in water pollution, erosion, or sedimentation to surface waters. By a vote of the board found the standard was met.
Yes.
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 Yes, Greg, yes. I also vote yes, 5-0. Based application, smell, and public record. The application will adequately provide for the disposal of all wastewaters. By a vote of board found the standard was met. Rich?
Yes.
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 I also will vote yes, so it's 5-0. Riveting stuff, isn't it? An application will not have an adverse impact on spawning grounds, fish, aquatic life, bird, or other wildlife habitat. By a vote of the board found the standard was met.
Yes.
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 I also vote yes, 5-0. The application will conserve shore cover and visual as well as actual points of access to inland waters. By a vote of the board found the standard was met. Rich?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. 5-0. I also vote yes. The application will protect archaeological and historic resources as designated in the comprehensive plan. By a vote of the board found the standard was met. Rich?
Yes.
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 I also vote yes. 5-0. Application will avoid problems associated with floodplain development and use. By a vote of the board found the standard was met.
Yes.
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 I also vote yes, 5 yes, 0 no's. This is, this next, vote will be on Thank you. It was just an amendment to this form. Our next, finding of law that we need to make, conclusion of law, excuse me, is, whether or not the application is in conformance with the land use standards of section 15. And, I'll go through down the entire list and we'll weed out the ones that aren't applicable and then vote on the remainder that are applicable. Minimum lot standards. Principal and accessory structures. Campgrounds and that, in this case, I think campgrounds means like tent sites, RV sites, not children's camps. Individual campsites and commercial and industrial uses, that's applicable in this case. As Richard mentioned earlier, by the nature of the overall enterprise. Parking areas, that's not applicable in this particular application. Roads and driveways, NA. Signs, NA. Just stop me if anybody disagrees. Stormwater, that applies. Septic waste disposal, that applies. Essential services, NA. Mineral exploration and extraction, NA. Agriculture, not applicable, NA. Timber harvesting, land management roads, not applicable. Clearing and removal of vegetation for activities other than timber harvesting, that's not applicable, I don't believe, is it? Hazard trees, storm damaged trees and dead tree removal, that's not applicable. Exemptions to clearing and vegetation removal requirements, that's not applicable. Revegetation requirements.
Vegetating.
Taking any of the.
You're removing the portion of the existing field, street hockey or whatever it is.
Yeah, no, we're actually retaining that and then they'll set up tents on that.
Oh, okay, all right, all
There
right.
would be some revegetation where we install utilities.
Yeah, but not, okay.
That's just incidental to the utility installation.
Keep it in.
Yeah.
Erosion and sedimentation control, that would be applicable. Shoreline stabilization, I don't believe that's applicable in this particular case. Soils aren't applicable because there's no new leach field or disposal field being proposed. Water quality, that's applicable. Historical and archaeological sites, that's not applicable, and this is not in the resource protection zone, so that's not applicable. So that those are standards from section 15, that the land use standards that are applicable are minimum lot standards, principal and accessory structures, commercial and industrial uses standards, stormwater runoff, waste, septic waste disposal standard, revegetation requirements, erosion and sedimentation control, and water quality. So by a vote of the board found that the standard was missed based on the evidence in the record, and Rich?
Yes.
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 I also vote yes, so 5-0. Standard was met. You might want to double check this before you're done. Um. As I mentioned earlier, this will come with a standard condition of approval, which, reads manage stormwater runoff from newer expanded structures in accordance with section 15I of the Belgrade Shoreline zoning ordinance, and, what's included by reference is the Maine Department of Environmental Protection's best management practices as outlined in conservation practices for homeowners publication. Such measures are to be put in place prior to building use. There's a second, standard condition that I don't believe is, applicable in this particular case. It's one that we have to check off the, sort of opted in. That's the one for all construction projects located within 100 horizontal feet of the normal high water line of a great pond. And that has to do with, clearing and vegetation removal performance standards. I don't believe that applies here.
Well, back beyond.
Is assumed, since I haven't heard any, there's no project specifics, conditions of approval.
Just the DEP contractor number. For instructions. There isn't one on them.
Oh, there isn't one on the end. Okay, so,
DEP contractor number before prior to construction, sure.
okay, that, I'll accept that as a motion as.
And, the two other conditions would be, that you put on the application, the height, no greater than 25, and also, that you change the square footage on the present structure to whatever that pad is that, is there now.
No higher than what?
No higher than 25 feet within shoreline zone, and then where he has present square footage at 0, add in with the current paved floor is, whatever that square footage is inside the shoreline zone.
So,
Yeah.
the first one will, and, let me see if I captured this right, Craig, provide, name. And number of DEP certified excavation contractor.
On here, it just says number, you don't have any name.
Oh, okay. To the code enforcement officer prior to the start of construction.
I've noted the present square footage on the application, if you want to just initial.
Actually, I think they're looking for the area of the entire, pad.
No, that's what I'm sure.
Right,
So
so,
this one.
yeah, it actually will,
You want to call back with that?
I'll call you that.
And, let me see, Nick's, yours was, maximum structure height in the shoreline zone may not exceed 25 feet. That, do I have that right? that leaves us with the stormwater, runoff condition of approval. A condition, provide name and number of DEP certified excavation contractor to the CEO prior to the start of construction. And lastly, maximum structure height in the shoreline zone may not exceed 25 feet. Any questions about that, Jeff? Okay. So with that, we're ready to make a decision, final decision. Based on the above findings of fact and conclusions of law on August 7th, 2025, the Town of Belgrade Planning Board did approve the application by a vote of Rich.
Do you need a motion?
I'm sorry, yeah, I guess I need a motion, sorry, thank you. Motion to approve.
I just know because you did last.
Yeah.
Yeah, I make a motion to approve.
Second,
Okay. Did you make it, Nick?
Yeah.
Okay.
thank you, Penny, I appreciate it.
Is that approved with the conditions that George?
Yes. With the condition, yeah. Rich,
Yes.
Pete,
Yes,
Nick,
Yes,
Yes.
Greg, yes. I also vote yes, so by a vote of 5 yes to 0 no's, shoreline permit application KEF Corporation, TBA Camp Moden.
Sorry.
And we have, yeah. All this. Okay, we're all set with that. Next item on the agenda is KEF Corporation Camp Moden's application for approval under the Commercial Development Review Ordinance, which at the last meeting, just for your benefit, we went through the application, and we have a checklist to determine if we've received everything that the ordinance requires in the way of information. And I don't have the master checklist, but I do have my own notes. So you have the master list. And I think there might be a few minor things that we're missing. How much? I can't remember.
I remember one thing you wanted was a copy of their most recent DEP application or DEP approval.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and so I have that.
Yeah, that was with the other application.
You, oh, so this is this
yeah.
facilities overall stormwater management plan approval by DEP. Along with, approval of the, phosphorus discharge standards.
Jeff, this says dining pavilion, is the issue that you're not doing anything that changes the ground?
Exactly,
That this is still good for that.
this is still, you know, because we're not creating new,
Once you get into the final.
actually, we're reducing the phosphorus runoff for the calculation method, so. There's no new impervious surface.
So that. So that goes to the item of copies of other required state or local permits, obviously just got shoreline zoning permit. And we have the approval or permit from DEP for stormwater. Was there anything else under that category that anybody could, I honestly, I can't remember. I shouldn't be saying that out loud, but. Rich, was there anything that you can recall?
Well, I'm looking, I had a couple noted.
That the stormwater also, as I mentioned, includes the phosphorus runoff as in addition to stormwater runoff, so it covers both.
The only other item I had in my note is we needed to notify the abutters.
All right, now, and that's been done. That's actually our responsibility.
The only other thing I had, and that I think was our responsibility too, is
Okay.
the fire department.
Oh, okay, but no other state or local permits?
No, oh, no.
Okay, so I'm gonna mark that as complete. Statement from the fire chief on the capacity of the fire department to provide adequate protection.
He has not provided that yet.
Well. That's not the applicant's fault.
He's aware of it, he just said he's gonna put it together, he's supposed to bring something today, but they don't.
Yeah. I'm just gonna write pending. That's satisfactory to everybody. And then the main DEP certified contractor name / number. That's to be determined, so that will be handled through a condition of approval. That's still the case, right, Jeff? Okay. Copy of DEP stormwater management permit, we now have that. See anything else that was pending. So, with that, we have a complete application, I believe, and I'll entertain a motion to that effect. And go from there. So if I could have a motion on.
I make a motion with the KRC Corporation's commercial application by A. Hudson Engineers is complete.
I second that.
All those in favor, Rich?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
Yes. Craig? Yes.
Yes.
I also vote yes. So that's 5-0. step one. So now we can delve into any questions the board may have, unless Jeff, is there anything else you want to tell us about this that you haven't already?
Not really, it is pretty straightforward.
Okay. I mean, we've kind of heard it under different. So is there any questions for Jeff Allen, my board members? No, they don't have any other. It's like we reviewed this numerous times. So with that, I guess it's time to do the another findings of fact and law. So this form is a little different than the shoreline zoning one, obviously, because the standards are different and criteria for our approval are different, but also the process is a little different. The board actually, by virtue of this document, makes a recommendation or we approve it, but then Hans approves it based on our approval. That makes any sense. Anyway, nobody really wants to know about that anyway. So pursuant to the Belgrade Commercial Development Review Ordinance, as last amended March 17, 2017, the Town of Belgrade Planning Board has considered the application of KEF Corporation, including all its application submittals and documentation, and makes the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. Application summary: craft building was a waiver request submitted. No. Application review process, the date application was accepted as complete. That was today. Was site visit conducted? No. Oh, this is what got me confused on the list of site attendees. That's what board meetings. What was our first meeting? 7. 20.
July 17,
17?
was that the last one?
Yeah,
July
17.
17.
Did you discuss it in June and I wasn't here?
No, well,
I didn't.
Yes and no. I mean, nothing of real substance. I mean, we really. And today, 8/7/2025. Review criteria, findings, fines, and leave the application fee. We'll boil up for you. So, we'll start with, soil, erosion and control. The board finds that the project will not or will cause unreasonable soil erosion
Will not.
Will not.
Will not.
I also agree, will not. It's 5-0. Board finds that the project will not have an adverse impact on freshwater wetlands.
Will not.
Yes.
Yes.
I also vote yes or will not have an adverse impact on wetlands. The board finds that the project will not have an adverse impact on lake, pond, or stream.
Will not.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. They don't use the pond that they're doing it on, instead of Great Pond.
What's that?
How come they don't say Salmon Lake instead of Great Pond?
Oh.
A great pond includes all ponds. It's a great pond. It just means that it's the size of it.
Yeah,
It's
It's a-
not saying great pond over here.
yeah, it's a legal term. A great pond by state laws, any pond of more than 10 acres. And so, you know, as Craig said, it's not our great pond, it's all ponds over 10 acres in the state of Maine are considered great ponds and are regulated under state law. Ones under 10 acres are not.
I'm surprised you don't use the name of.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just a legal term in state law. It's kind of generic. The board finds that the project will provide for adequate stormwater management.
I'll give it full of things, yes.
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 Well, you're saying, well, and we just agree, yes, we agree.
Well,
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to see if everybody's awake. Keep on changing it. So, I also vote yes, 5-0. So I'm filling in, the justification, and again, it's gonna be based on application submittals. Public record. Again, we'll abbreviate. Board finds that the project will provide adequate sewage disposal.
Yes.
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 I also vote yes, will provide adequate sewage disposal. That's 5-0. Board finds that the project is not or is located in a floodplain area and conforms with the Belgrade floodplain ordinance.
Yes, is not.
He's messing with it.
Yes.
Yes.
Is not.
So I also vote is not. So the board finds that the project is not located in a floodplain area and conforms with Belgrade floodplain ordinance. Board finds that the project will not result in air or water pollution.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
Yes.
I also vote yes, it's 5-0. Board finds that the project will have sufficient drinking water for current and foreseeable needs.
Yes.
yes,
yes,
Yes.
I also vote yes, it's 5-0 in favor. Board finds that the project, along or in conjunction with existing activities, will not adversely impact the quality or quantity of groundwater.
Will not.
will not,
will not,
I also vote will not. It's 5-0. Board finds that the proposed activity will dispose of all solid waste in conformance with all local regulations. And that the type and quantity of waste proposed to be sent to the town transfer facility will not exceed its capacity.
Will not.
will not,
will not,
Yes.
Will not, I also vote will not, that's 5-0. This next one, and I'd like to ask you whether there's anything you want to say about it. I'll just read it first, though. The board finds that the project will not or will have a significant detrimental effect on adjacent land uses and properties affected by waste, noise, glare, lighting, fumes, smoke, dust, odors, or their effects from the project. Now, wasn't sure if all your concerns had been.
Well, there's all kinds of lighting there now, so there's
Okay,
actually probably gonna be less. Yeah.
okay, all right,
That's all right, it lights up my land real good.
okay.
Yeah. I got security too, real good.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. And don't hesitate to speak up if we get to something that you want to comment about. The board finds that the project, will not have a significant detrimental effect on adjacent land uses and properties.
Will not.
will not,
yes,
Yes.
I also vote yes or will not. 5-0. The board finds that the project will not cause unreasonable highway or public road congestion or unsafe conditions with respect to use of existing or proposed highways. Rich,
Yes, will not.
yeah, yes,
yes,
Yes.
I also vote yes or will not. It's 5-0. Board finds that the project to the maximum extent possible will not have an adverse effect on scenic or natural beauty.
Will not.
will not,
yes,
Yes.
I also vote will not or yes, 5-0. Finds that the project to the maximum extent possible will not have an adverse effect on significant wildlife habitat or critical natural areas.
yes,
yes,
Yes.
I also vote yes or will not have an adverse effect. Board finds that the project conforms with all other applicable town of Belgrade ordinances, including but not limited to shoreline zoning, which we just issued a permit for. Minimum lot size, subdivision, multifamily dwelling, manufactured, and the list goes on. No adult businesses, I guess, huh? Children's camp. Anyway, the board finds that the project conforms with all other applicable town of Belgrade ordinances.
Yes.
Yes,
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 I also vote yes, conforms with all other applicable town ordinances. Board finds that the project will not unreasonably increase the concentration of phosphorus in a great pond. This is the same issue that you raised earlier. This is in the generic sense, not the specific sense. Will not unreasonably increase the concentration of phosphorus.
Yes, well,
all right,
yes,
yes,
I also vote will not, or yes. It's 5-0. The board finds that the project will conform to material storage provisions of this ordinance.
yes, will.
yes,
yes,
I also vote yes, will conform, or yes, it's 5-0, 5 yes, 0 no. Board finds that the applicant has sufficient right, title, or interest to undertake the development.
Yes.
yes,
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 I also vote yes, or has sufficient title, right, or interest. 5-0. 5 yes, 0 no's. Board finds that the applicant does provide for safe and adequate parking.
Yes, yes.
yes,
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 I also vote yes, or does. 5-0. Board finds that the project will conform to all applicable provisions of this ordinance. This is sort of a catch-all.
Yes. Will.
Pete,
yeah,
yes,
yes,
I also vote will conform, or yes, 5-0. Okay, so those are all the individual votes on specific performance standards of the ordinance. I'll entertain a motion to approve the project overall. But first, I just want to read the standard conditions of approval. If construction has not been substantially started within 36 months of board approval, and it runs out, basically, it's null and void. The board approval of this project as described above is limited to that described in the application and depicted in the accompanying plan and other application submissions, except to the extent that the board has expressly indicated in this document that certain depictions may be revised by the applicant without further review, which we haven't done. Any changes to the application, site plan, or other supporting application submissions must receive prior approval by the board, including but not limiting to changes in proposed location of structures, roads, parking, vehicle entrance and exit, wells, subsurface wastewater systems, the method of waste disposal, extent and location of vegetated areas, material storage, outdoor lighting, signage, and methods of stormwater and phosphorus runoff control. Third one is unless a waiver from a specific ordinance standard has been requested all by the applicant in writing and approved by the board, the development or use is required to the development or use is required to meet all applicable ordinance standards. This board approval and its associated permit from the code enforcement officer is transferable to subsequent owners of the property. And, I've lost track. There's no project specific conditions.
Same as the shoreline DEP.
Oh, right, yeah. So that one would be, submit name and certification number of DEP certified contractor to the Belgrade State Enforcement Officer prior to the start of construction. So that one reads, submit name and certification number of the DEP certified contractor to the Belgrade Code Enforcement Officer prior to the start of construction. So with that, and given those standard conditions approval and the one project specific condition of approval, I'll entertain a motion to approve the application.
I'll make a motion to approve the KEF Corporation application with the standard conditions and the one specific.
Second. Great, seconds. All in favor, Rich,
Yes.
Pete?
Yes.
Yes.
Nick, yes.
Yes.
Craig, yes. I also vote yes. So it passes by 5 yeses. 0 no's. I'm gonna sign this on behalf of Sarah. What's that?
I'm leaving tomorrow. Get back to you with the other information. Thank you.
Why don't we take a, sir, did you get your questions answered?
Yes.
Pretty much, okay, all right, well, thank you very much for coming in,
Yeah, thank you.
thank you, Jeff,
Thank you.
and legal assistant.
That's yeah.
Nothing on TV, not tonight anyway, right? People like to take a 5-minute break, we've been at it for, well, 2 people have anyway, so why don't we take a 5-minute break? We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
8:42, 8:37.
Yes. So the next item on the agenda, was originally gonna be the Seven Lakes Alliance, but, we will, need to, that's a shoreline zoning application, I guess, after the fact application. For, a temporary, tent structure on their lawn, no one from Seven Lakes Alliance could be here tonight. The I think we'll need to table this. I did. Hans, you mentioned to me before the meeting that you've been in touch with DEP. Could you talk a little bit about that? You had said that you had been in touch with them, whether they had any policy on how to handle applications like this. I mean, clearly a tent's a structure, but in the shoreline zone, but the fact that it would just be for several days versus say an entire summer season.
Well. Owen confirmed it is a structure. Even if it's, it's overnight. You can't tell the weather. If we had downpour rain. The tent would obviously cause erosion from all the runoff coming off of it. So I mean, it's gotta be treated as a structure. Temporary or permanent, it is a structure. There's no in the ordinance, it doesn't even mention temporary or permanent, it's structure or not structure.
Yeah, I only asked because I was wondering whether. For something that's just there for several days, whether DEP had a policy that was a little bit more flexible than the ordinance itself, but it doesn't sound like that's the case.
It's within the 100-foot setback.
I'm wondering if we could develop our own policy as such that, I think back on back a while, we had people who had a house on the lake. And they'd had friends come, with a camper and stay for the weekend. And the question was, at what point do you consider that a dwelling unit? And, we kind of had, I don't remember what the policy that we were kind of taking was that, if it's there for a week, that we would ignore it. If it was there for the whole summer and people who lived in there the whole summer, that would be an issue. And I'm wondering, DEP or not, that it seems to me that somebody putting up, I've given some thought to this, and it seems to me that if somebody were just putting a tent up for a weekend, that it's kind of, in my mind, I'm not sure it's necessary to.
Well, that was my first reaction. The only problem is the context. This is down in Belgrade Lakes Village. And the Village Inn also has a big tent up, except that they're leaving it up for the entire season, as I understand it.
Well, it's supposed to come down to them.
Okay, but that was,
And then it's also proximity, one's 50 feet from the water, the other one's 10 feet from the water.
yeah, so, don't ask to tell, I'm not sure it's gonna work.
Too many variables, it's not one size fit all rule. Other than if it's structure, it needs a permit. If
I mean,
it's for a permit.
yeah. In terms of the impacts and all that, I see a really big difference between a tent that's left up for a long weekend, and one that's left up for 3 or 4 months.
Unless it's a really rainy weekend.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was thinking of, the grass dying
No, I know.
and all that kind of stuff, and
Well, in both situations, they have driveways that could be covered for an event.
So it wouldn't change the impervious.
And Seven Lakes Alliance driveway is actually 100 feet from the resource. And almost the same exact dimension as the tent they use. The Village Inn's hard surface driveways across the street. It's a larger area. But it's covering existing structure.
yeah.
If neither of them had big driveways. At least the rec center or something, I don't know. It's shoreline zone, we gotta. Play by the rules, everybody.
You could take it to the extreme though, if somebody puts up one of those canopies.
Right.
The portable things you pull apart and it's up in 10 seconds. Is that a structure? Well, it is.
Well, and I was thinking of it in the context too of other state laws like the Natural Resources Protection Act that has specific exclusions from structures that are temporary in nature, you know, and I mean, that it's different, but you know, there's that kind of concept built into it. I just have a real hard time with getting worked up about a tent that's left up for a weekend.
Yeah, and I agree with the issue of the Village Inn, if they're putting up a tent structure type thing and it's there all summer. That's different than a weekend.
Yeah,
And that close to the water.
but I mean, it sounds like what we're being told by DEP, we don't have a lot of wiggle room. All right, well,
That is minimum size.
well, I mean,
Definition, then that's-
all those things would require us changing the ordinance and then, but
The thing that I would say that would have to be done is change, we'd have to change the ordinance or add to the ordinance, not change it. Given a temporary structure, which a tent is a temporary structure. A 72-hour.
No, but like if somebody if somebody is in shoreline zoning and they put in their backyard, you know, a table with an umbrella, you know, patio set, I mean. Is that, you know, I mean, there has to be some type of size, a
yeah,
minimum, I mean, or whatever. You can't, you know. I mean, technically, if they have a big umbrella over their patio set, that's a structure now.
Or the kids staying in a tent for the
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah.
You know, or even a week, it's like,
We take it to the extreme, the picnic table can't go there.
Right,
That's
exactly,
structure.
yeah, exactly.
I mean,
So a minimum size would kind of make sense.
the problem is, and. You know, I personally am very amenable to some of the things we've just talked about in terms of possible amendments to the ordinance. The question becomes, you know, the ordinance doesn't go into effect until DEP approves it. And will they approve it?
But they will.
And,
It's,
well, then I think maybe we should kind of keep that in the queue, you know, among the other things we're talking about. Cause I just. I see the two.
Yeah.
Situations very differently in terms of
Our
potential impact on abutters, all that stuff.
And if we did do something like that, our definition of temporary couldn't be 3 months or whatever. The
Seasonal or
DEP
something.
thing is for the NRPA. Yeah. Yeah, that. NRPA was it 90 days or something like
I
that?
think-
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't propose something like that, I mean,
Mhm.
but, you know, maybe we even make it specific to, you know, tents, you know, and, well, okay, anyway, can I have a motion to table this application?
I'll make the motion, we table the application. For the,
7 months.
7 lakes,
what's that,
7 lakes.
7 Lakes, yes, that's slipping my mind.
Mhm.
7 Lakes Alliance, application for a tent.
I second that.
All in favor? Rich?
Yes.
Pete?
Yes,
Yes. I also vote yes, 5-0. Okay. Oh, so. How do you pronounce your last name?
Looney and Hong. My daughter's last name is Hong.
Oh,
My husband's last name. is
oh,
Looney.
okay, all right, well, welcome.
Thank you.
So our next application, is the commercial development review ordinance application, Water Dance Farm. And it looks like we've gotten some supplemental information.
Well, my daughter's not able to be here. She just had a baby, so she wasn't sure mom could articulate all the things that needed to.
Okay, all right, well. We don't need to know too much about that.
We're just looking to, be able to use the barn for small venues and do like a takeout service. In the farm stand.
Yeah.
When we bought the home, we were under the impression that we could do these things because they had been done in the past. So we're, just want to make sure we dot all our i's and cross all our t's. We don't want to do anything that we're not supposed to. That's why you have this
Okay,
packet.
very good. It's much appreciated. Yeah, I don't believe is it called Wintergreen Farm?
Winterberry.
Winterberry Farm. I don't recall them ever getting approval for a change of use or anything of that nature. So the process we have is kind of a two-step process. Tonight, we'll go through your application and determine if it's a complete, meaning that we have all the information that the ordinance requires. We'll also try to give you some feedback. If we see any issues that maybe you want to work on between now and the next time we meet, so that there aren't any surprises. There may be questions from board members as we go, but that's basically what we'll try to accomplish tonight. But if we find that your application is complete or nearly complete, we will between now and the next meeting that we take this up, all property owners within 500 feet of your property will be notified, so they have the opportunity to weigh in if they so choose. It's pretty rare. The gentleman that you maybe saw on your way in was the first one that I've seen. We've seen it in quite some time, but just don't know.
I think we only the neighbors to our left are 500 feet, the other ones.
Yeah, it's all property owners within 500
Oh,
feet of
property
your
owners,
property
okay.
line, so.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it
next-
usually
next
casts a
up.
fairly good sized net, although pretty rural where you are. Honestly, we have a master form for me to use or. Is there anything else you'd like to summarize for us before we get going?
No, basically, we're just looking to.
Well, I just made my own.
We're just looking to use the barn for small venues.
Yeah,
And like I said, do a takeout service. Maybe, just some breakfast items in the morning and then takeout, meaning like prepared meals
oh, okay,
at night, not like a sit-down restaurant.
oh, okay, all right, so
But
not,
venue, if we did like a baby, we want to do small venues, 75 under, we're not looking to do any large venue,
Is there any proposed structure like that parking lot is existing, right?
structure, we'd strictly be using.
Even the
everything
lot.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, it's all existing.
and we, there's a conservation easement with Seven Lakes Alliance, we can't really do anything to the property, which we don't want to.
right,
We don't want to.
well,
change
and the
anything.
barn's a natural historic.
Yeah, we might redo the inside of the barn and leave the integrity of the outside of the barn because we love it.
Yeah,
And
Yeah, so where it says proposed parking, that's already an existing.
that's already existing, and right near the.
What about signage? You guys plan on putting in a sign or?
For
it's a
the-
sign up, actually.
Yeah.
Sign up
I
on
think we got a picture to Hans of the sign.
No, I haven't been.
I don't know if not, I'm sure I have one. No, it's not. I think they were sent it to me. And it's, the correct size. We ran that by Hans as well.
Right, yeah, no, I happened to drive by and I noticed that it was the correct side.
Yeah. Well, when it came in the van, I was like, I looked in the van and I was like, oh my God, that's so big. But then it went up, I was like, oh, that looks pretty good. And the sign people know, I suppose, that's what they do for a living.
Casey, your daughter?
No, Casey is my husband.
Oh, sorry. All right, okay, don't worry about me, I'll catch up.
That's all right. I've got that 100 times, millions of times through my life, so.
If there isn't a picture, I do have one.
Oh, it says the fee already been paid,
Yes,
and which, how much was that one?
$100.
Thank you. So, what else? What
Yeah,
else
and you guys are
do-
using outhouses, you know.
Right now, we have a compostable toilet, but for events, my daughter put a picture
Yeah,
there of what we would,
Trail.
what we would get for things like that, yeah.
The, any other questions before I get going on this? That people want to ask just to get themselves oriented?
I don't know, I've got a question to ask, but I'm not sure. It won't be covered when we go through the.
Okay. Why don't you just bring it up at the
Oh, okay.
appropriate time?
And I'm not an expert on what a public drinking water supply is, but I noticed that the application said something about will be a public drinking water, and I'm wondering if you have a event type thing and you're using water from the facility or whether that is at what point does it become a public drinking water supply? I know you know more than that than I do.
Yeah, it would become a transient public drinking water supply if you're providing, is it 25 people,
I think it's 20.
20 people? Is it per month? It's been, no, it's maybe a day, maybe it's a day. So when and what it means to be a transient public drinking water supply is simply that you don't have to get a permit from the Maine Department of the Maine Drinking Water Program. You register with them so they know that you're there, because there are a lot of state laws that would protect your well because of that designation, including if somebody wanted to put a gas station next door, that kind of thing. But I'm not, if you were a restaurant, you'd clearly be a transient public drinking water supply. Day store is a transient public drinking water supply. All the restaurants in towns are. But in your instance, I'm guessing you are, but it may be something you're gonna need to do a little homework on. But when we get to that, and what we'll do at the end of this is hopefully we won't write it down for you, but we'll go over it with you, so you have a list of things that.
I didn't bring my in, sorry.
Things that maybe you need to get more information about and satisfy the ordinance
And
requirement.
any event we do, it'd be bottled water and things like that, yeah, we wouldn't provide. Glass, filled glasses
We
and
would-
stuff, so, yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so
we
that,
can still look in.
so that might be something then that we would need to have clarified in your
Yeah.
application.
Yeah.
Okay,
Kind of thing, because at least the way I read it, I was under the impression that you would be providing water from your well to clients, customers, whatever, so.
Yeah, so it says if you become a public water system if you provide water from your own well to 25 or more people per day. or have 15 or more service connections.
Yeah, right. The 15 service connections, I was well aware, familiar with the 25. I was
People
less-
one day. Well, you're a public-
Yeah. But, per day. Kind of like a running average, so,
Yeah.
if
Is that average?
you may or may not, even if you use your well, you may or may not meet that, because of the irregular. Use of the well by people coming to be at the barn or having dinner or whatever it's gonna be, so. It might be easier to go the route that you were suggesting. Um, oh. Okay, well, let me start. First item, and we just marked these as complete, not applicable, or a waiver request has been approved. The application, form, I'll go through these and when I get the one I have a question about, I'll stop. If you disagree or have something you would like to comment on or discuss, stop me. Application form, that's complete. The applicant's agent authorization letter, that's not applicable. I did not see a copy of your deed or sales agreement or lease or other documentation of title, right, or interest in among the materials that were submitted. Does anybody else have that? Or I didn't have it.
I didn't see it.
So you can add that to the list.
And we own it outright. No banks. So,
Well, and you, because of the nature of that being a forever farm, you have restrictions on your deed, right?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
And next item is a written waiver request. I didn't see one, so that's not applicable. Copy of the tax map, we have that. There's several of these maps that I had a question. I wanted to see what the board thought. These have to do with the copy of the county soil map, the shoreland zoning map, the flood insurance map, and the national wetlands inventory map. Are those applicable? They haven't been submitted. Are those applicable in your mind? We did receive it. We do have a copy of the US Geological Survey topographical map, so we'll check that off.
And there are wetlands on the property, but they're not near.
Right, yeah, it's
What
down.
we're doing.
Yeah,
So
yeah, no,
funny-
I could tell
Yes.
from one of the drawings that you submitted, it's just the ordinance generally requires these standardized maps to kind of document the same thing. That's why I'm asking the board.
Now, the only one that I had a question on, and you're right, where you're proposing to
It's not.
do your
anywhere.
work is clearly out of the shoreline.
Well, it's a change of use as well
Um,
versus new construction.
yeah, well, my point would be that shows a wetland down the far end, and I'm not sure whether that technically is a shore, it might be a forested wetland, which is not part of the shoreline zone, but as I said, the change of use is occurring up by the road,
Yeah.
which is not even close to
Right,
the wetlands.
right.
Yeah,
Any other thoughts about that?
I agree with it.
Not applicable.
Yeah.
So, we'll, soil map, there's no new septic or anything like that. Well, there's no new construction. Well, let me ask you a question in terms of new construction. I noticed on your site plan, or I haven't had a chance to. Yeah, it's on here too. These bunkhouses are new?
Yes,
Okay, so that's the only construction you're actually proposing?
no, they're just sheds.
Oh,
We live in a shed.
Yeah.
oh, okay, so when I say there's no new construction, that's accurate.
That's accurate.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
they're-
We
yeah,
bought
we
them,
bought
they
them
dropped
and they
off.
dropped them,
Yeah, they were.
and we went through Huntsville and that.
Oh, okay, all right.
And they're bunkhouses, they're not hooked up to our septic or
Yeah.
hooked up to water.
Yeah.
So you're gonna do the takeout out of one of those, or
Right?
do the takeout out of one of those?
Yeah.
Did you not get this wetland map? In your pack?
It wasn't identified as such,
Yeah, it's in wrong, isn't it? Is that a wetland?
Yeah. It's with the topo overlay.
it says Town of Belgrade on it and CAI Technologies, so rather than, US Fish and Wildlife. That's the only,
Well, it's the NWI wetland map. So I mean, it's the same map they use. It's just our software prints our name over it.
oh, I didn't know
And that national wetland inventory map.
that. Are any of these the soils maps as well then, Hans?
Not here, I didn't print one, but we
Okay.
can do it.
No, well, I think we're in agreement that they're not really applicable, but, so. Be that as it may, we do have, the wetlands map is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll check that off.
We got topography.
Actually, you got two, because I zoomed in as well, and we can see that edge of it. Down by the end of the field.
Myself mixed up with all these stupid things.
So I got a question, the wetland, where's the bog now? Where's the lake?
The green area.
The green area is the lake or the bog?
This one here shows it, it's got the brook, the bog, and with the lake.
And that one, okay, so the color map. Doesn't show. I didn't distinguish the, color map, I distinguish the lake from the bog, I guess. Equal.
Well, the lake's not involved,
What,
the lake's not involved.
well, it's what,
The lake's not involved, son.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, so, what's.
That's the wetlands right
So this is the
Yeah.
wetland, and the lake is here,
Yeah, that's really large marsh.
there. Yeah.
okay, at the marsh, okay, alright, I thought maybe it showed the lake.
And the top, the topo map designates the wetland too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, it gets the richest point of there are different classes of wetlands and some were
Yeah.
concerned about and some were not.
Didn't show the lake.
That distinction's made on the US Fish and Wildlife Service maps.
Okay, alright, that's my question.
So, just to summarize, we, decided that the soils map is not applicable. We have the USGS, topographical map, the shoreline zoning map is not applicable, the flood insurance map is not applicable, and as it turns out, we have the wetlands inventory map. It's just that it was printed off by Hans, and so it has the designation of the town rather than US Fish and Wildlife Service. That about right? Next, copy of, Maine Geological Survey, of significant sand and gravel aquifers, that's not applicable, because that's for facilities storing hazardous waste through petroleum. Copy of Maine Drinking Water Program map, that's not applicable. Again, for the same reason, that's primarily a concern with when dealing with facilities proposing to store petroleum or hazardous materials. The two that. The next two are the copy of the MDOT highway entrance or access permit. Which I'm guessing is not applicable, but. Copy of the MDOT traffic movement permit and traffic movement study. I'm not certain. I actually went to the DOT website, which is totally useless. Try to figure it out, the ordinance says that if the access is gonna be to a state highway, which is the case here, it's Route 27. That the, and this is Article 6, Section 2B, we need some kind of documentation from DOT that indicates those permits are not required, or that they approve them as documentation that in their view, there won't be a traffic hazard. And we don't have that currently. That's why I tried to figure out on DOT's website and didn't have any luck. Now, I have to admit, at reviewing your application, I wasn't quite sure how many people you might be seating or having at any given hour based on your
Yeah, any
traffic
hour,
estimates
yeah.
and other things.
Venues would
And
be
this
different.
says it's a maximum 75. Which is answers a couple of my personal questions, and it might answer this question for DOT as well. My thought is to hold off on this and ask the applicant to either an email or other kind of documentation as to whether these permits are required. And if they are required, we could handle the delay in the time to get those permits through a condition of approval or something of that nature. That's my personal thought.
Right, so the applicant would need to do all the legwork itself, for themselves, go to the traffic station, come back with a letter, one way or the other.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. And the one thing I did find, yeah, what,
So we're just asking them if a permit is required. for
Yeah,
a
whether or
venue
not
75?
highway entrance or a traffic movement permit is required. And the only reason this is an issue is because the numbers of people, the increase in the number of traffic, the amount of traffic that you're gonna have sporadically. And if I can find it, so here, again, I didn't have any luck finding any useful information on their website, but we're in Region 2 of DOT's Region 2, which is their offices are near where the bus station is in Augusta.
Yeah.
Their phone number, I do have their phone
Oh,
number.
great,
It's 624-8200.
thank you. So that being said, so we'll get this information to you back as quickly as we can before the next meeting.
Yes,
Okay.
so we'll keep those
So
as
perfect.
incomplete at the moment.
Okay,
And then the next item is copies of other required state or local permits. And this is where Rich's question comes into play, even though it's not a permit per se, it's a registration. I'm pretty sure you're gonna need to register that as a public, your well, as unless your choices are that or what you suggested of adding to your application something that says clearly that you're gonna use bottled drinking water and not your household supply well. And you know, it's really all about whether or not you use the well. That's all it is.
so how do we add that to the application? Do we?
Well, you can, these things could all be done, and other board members should speak up if you think I'm on the wrong track here, but you could. It's not untypical for an applicant to submit a letter with one through, you know, however, and, you know, this issue, this is.
Okay.
Et cetera, and we're amending, you know, in this case, drinking water supply source, we will rely on bottled water for all, customers, clients, and not our, therefore, it's not a public drinking water supply. Something of that nature,
Thank you.
okay? So we'll hold off on that until, we get that information. Is there anything else on that that we should bring up while we're here on this subject? Anybody can think of?
Other permits?
Yeah, I can't think of any other town permits.
This copies are like your restaurant, whatever sanitation.
Oh, right, yeah, that's right. Now, that's right, the restaurant license you said that you applied for in the application.
Oh, with the state?
Yes,
Yeah, they've come out and, they have just, apparently there's 2 people that are doing that now. So we're just waiting on them to come out. But we had to redo the whole kitchen. It was not up to code. We had to put in 3 sinks. We had to put in a hand washing sink. We had to put in a sink for prep. We had a new stove put in. We have a new refrigerator put in. We have a new vent put in.
I mean, there's a couple ways we can handle that. We could handle it as a condition that would be submitted before they start operation,
Okay.
that kind of thing.
I'm good with that.
Sounds fair.
If we can get somebody out there.
Well, yeah, I've had similar experience with others ever since COVID, really.
Yeah, it's like figuring out the DOT website. It's like they don't email you back. But we can be persistent.
The thing about Belgrade close to Augusta, so you can.
My daughter's literally been driving there for the water test, and we just go straight to the source. We don't put anything in the mail anymore. Which is nice. Makes it go.
And the other question I had along a similar line, are you applying for a liquor license? No, okay,
We were told like if we wanted a day license, that's something we could do, but I'm not really that interested.
okay, all right.
Like if a venue wanted something like that, I would just, apply for the day. I'm not interested in having.
The information you submitted here was 75 people, answered one of my questions, and I'll just tell you what it is, just so you know. There's another ordinance we don't actually administer, but the select board does, the mass gathering ordinance, but that only is triggered when you have 300 or more people, and so, I mean, you just with an event facility, you just don't know how big.
Right. Yeah, no, we're trying to keep.
So that's not applicable. We don't have to worry about that, goodness sake. The next item is a site development plan drawn to scale, and there's a long list of items. There, with this new plan, which is at least new, the one we got prior didn't have some of the information on there. It deals with some of it. There are a few things that are missing from it, that I'll point out. Parking's on there now, so that I can take that off. And that's 27 spaces, is that correct?
One would be 20 and then one would be 10, and then 2 ADA spaces.
Oh, okay, I see it on here. Very good. And maybe some of the other aerial views that we have. I'll ask the board whether they think they're adequate to show this, but the location of existing vegetation to be retained and any proposed buffers, maybe this new drawing has,
On the road, you mean?
there are requirements for along the road and, public road and along, the property line, I know there's a lot of vegetation on the opposite side of the north property line, the, it. I know you mentioned that there's quite a bit along the highway and that. The question is, are you gonna retain that? And if so, that should be shown on the drawing.
Oh, okay, I'll have my daughter put it in.
And likewise for the lateral property lines, any vegetation that you're planning to keep there, because there are specific requirements for vegetative buffers along those and. And this also will get to, we'll talk more about in a little bit with regard to. How you're gonna meet the noise standard. Cause vegetation helps buffer noise.
Yeah,
The location of your well. And your wastewater disposal system. If
oh,
those
you need
could-
that there? No. I have a whole book with all of it, in it. I didn't bring it. I'll just have her add to this existing map.
And also, the other item was, the location of the dumpster.
Right now, we have a dumpster located near the house.
Oh,
But we
okay,
would put another dumpster located to the left of the barn, but. Okay.
yeah,
We
if that
can
could be
draw it.
added
I'll
to the
have her draw it.
drawing,
Yeah, it would not be visible.
okay,
The
good.
spot that it is, it would not be visible at all, but I'll have my daughter draw it in. But
Anything
it would
else?
be to the left of the existing gravel drive, there's vegetation, there's a stone wall, there's vegetation, and then there's kind of like a little inlet there where we could put it.
Do those does the drive to the south, does that loop around?
It does, it loops right around.
Okay. Is there anything else that people think are missing from the site plan?
I just think you may wanna show the, like, the distance from the property line to go across on the road and. How much the footage, you know.
Oh, she has all that, I'll have her put it in.
Yeah,
It's done by scale.
yeah, it's to scale, so it's 1 inch to 40 feet, so.
Yeah.
It's From like from the barn to the property line is well over 40 feet, 56 feet, maybe I read somewhere, something like that.
The ordinance doesn't require, for them to have designated for outhouses, do they?
Um,
Does that have to be on the outhouses?
like, oh, the Porta Johns.
Porta johns, yeah.
It'd be a trailer too,
Yeah.
Porta John.
Yeah, if it's a trailer, I don't know, I
Yeah.
might have to have it designated.
And we'd have a spot for it too.
Yeah,
To the left of the barn.
Yeah.
yeah, it can't hurt to put
Put that on?
So,
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll
because
put that in.
Okay,
some of this is because one of the findings we have to make is whether or not there'll be impacts on neighboring properties and. What helps us make that decision is knowing where things are gonna be.
Yep, yep, we can do
Anything else? No, okay.
There's just one, the dumpsters, are they, the one you have now, like what size? Kind of 6x8?
that. Yes,
yeah,
Gregory's.
yeah,
So
it's not the,
it's,
yeah, it's
small-
the
it is.
smaller one.
Yeah, not even 6x8, no, it's a smaller one, it's 6x4,
Yeah, it's not.
maybe, yeah. Yeah.
And that one is, yeah, that's near the house, the house.
Yeah.
But we have another one on this other side of the barn,
Right,
where the
right,
porta
yes.
potty is, kind of, there's a area there that's covered. We can see it. Probably.
Yeah, probably similar, so we'll put that in,
Okay.
yeah, we'll put the sign in.
So as far as the vegetation along the property line and either side, could we take pictures? Or do you want us to draw it in on this map?
Yeah, if you could just show it on the drawing.
Show on the drawing.
Yeah, I mean, we, in one sense, we
And this
see
map
some of
shows-
that on the Google Earth, or I assume that's Google Earth.
Yeah, that one shows it pretty good. I mean, almost the whole property is.
Yeah. the whole
Yeah.
drawing.
Yeah. Actually, I'd almost be okay to,
Yeah, I think that's.
yeah, you can leave that off, because we really do have a good representation of that, the,
I'm just curious, what kind of farming you going to be doing?
We're doing vegetables right now,
And produce,
yeah.
Okay,
chickens, laying
And,
eggs.
We have chicken lambs and we have, meat
yes,
birds.
you're gonna sell them at the door?
Yep.
Okay.
And, we have 7 Lakes had Mary put in like a compost area that's cement on 3 sides.
You gonna be doing pies?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I.
Yeah.
On someone's breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah.
Ready for one now.
Well, my daughter and my husband are both in construction and she's like, Mom, the construction guys will stop me.
The next item, detail to scale drawings showing location and construction specifications of drainage, features, roads, sidewalks, access points. Driveways, we have the parking. Traffic control features, fire control structures, and public improvements. I would say that's not applicable in this case. Everybody in agreement about that? Documentation meets applicable state, federal air quality regulatory requirements. We actually have something in the application to that effect. Soil erosion control plan. My question about this has to do with the parking areas. These are maybe you could describe for me what they are now. Are they just lawn
Just
or
lawn.
lawn?
Behind, the little storefront,
Yeah,
the driveway comes there and then there's a whole open area to the right.
okay,
The big, the house is here.
yeah,
The store is here. This would be the parking area.
And it's just gonna remain long.
Yeah.
And it's just
Yeah.
gonna remain.
Yeah, that's what I was asking in the beginning. Are you gonna make pavement or are you just gonna keep?
Yeah,
those?
no, and
Keep it.
that's also something that we have to, Seven Lakes Alliance would need to know if we did any asphalt or
Right.
anything like that, so we're just leaving it grass.
this, where I'm going with all this is, I just want to explore, whether the parking will actually result in it basically killing the grass and so whether soil erosion
Yeah,
is something that we need to be concerned about. It kind of comes down to how many events are you gonna have?
right.
I don't know if you know that, or whether you're planning, or if your hope is to
Yeah.
have one every weekend, or.
Well, no. 8 a year or something. I'm not looking to, a couple baby showers, couple bridal showers, a small 50th birthday party, something like that. We're not looking to,
Yeah,
yeah,
cause there's actually types of grass that are meant for infrequent vehicle use.
yeah.
That they
I like
use
to
like
look
at
into that.
overflow parking lots and that kind of thing.
I mow it twice a week.
Okay. So, do others think that's not a concern or?
My, thought is it would depend on how often it was being used. If it was used regularly, it'd probably be an issue. But it's- Would say 8 times or so.
Yeah, I'm
a
not
year.
looking to do an event every weekend. I can barely weed my garden.
Okay. Everybody,
Identify.
everybody else okay?
If there's much activity, it's really not an issue at all.
Yeah, so in other words, we would say soil erosion control plan is not applicable.
Due to the infrequent use, or maybe approximately what, 10 to 15
Yeah.
a year.
A year.
Maybe want to throw that in there,
Okay, put that, you want
put a
to.
number in.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so soil erosion, under that basis, then the soil erosion control plan would be not applicable. The main DEP certified contractor, I don't see that being applicable. Location of the site listed on the National Register of Historic Places, that is applicable, is it? And it's also complete, there's information in the application about that, and the lack of, that you're not planning any alterations to the barn. And there, I don't believe the archaeological sites is applicable.
Yeah, it's actually in pretty good condition.
Yeah.
It's a hay barn, so, I mean, there's
Structurally.
splits, but they're structurally in,
Yeah.
they had jacked it up a couple years ago,
Yeah.
before we bought it.
That's in good shape.
Yeah, it's a beautiful barn.
Yeah.
It has a Wikipedia page. My son found it on Wikipedia. The Foster barn.
Information needed to meet the air quality standard, that's provided in the application, so that's met. Information needed to meet access to public street standards. This is related to the DOT.
From traffic.
Yeah, the way. If you were accessing a town road, then the ordinance has specific. Say distances from intersections and all this other stuff, sight lines and all that, because you're. Accessing a state highway, we rely on DOT to make that determination, so we'll leave the that item. We'll hold that over. Protection measures for historic and archaeological resources, that's complete, that's addressed in the application. Estimated quantities of flammable, combustible, and hazardous substances to be stored, handled, or generated, including waste oil and antifreeze. I don't believe that's applicable. Evidence meets DEP citing regulations for oil storage and hazardous substance, that's definitely not applicable. Copy of application provided to the fire chief by planning board or CEO, so we'll leave that vacant, that's our obligation to do. We'll contact the town fire chief. And that's just a determination that they're able to provide. Fire protection to the kind of structure or business that you have. Sometimes we've had ones where they ask for. A lockbox or something like that, so they could get in the fight a fire event, nobody was home, that kind of thing. Other information needed to meet material storage standard, including bulk storage of combustible flammable materials. That's not applicable. Visual impact assessment. That's not applicable. Plan based on inland fish and wildlife critical areas program recommendation to mitigate impact on natural areas, wildlife habitat. I don't believe that's applicable since there's no new major construction. This is a change of use. Other information needed to meet the natural resource protection standard. That's not applicable. The two items with regard to noise. The noise standard. Well, there are decibel levels at the property lines. And if, based on what I saw in here, it sounds like you're planning to have some live music.
Yeah, and my daughter put in their venue hours, 9 AM to 9 PM. All events will conclude by 9 o'clock PM.
Include cleaned up.
Okay. So for that time period, the standard is 60 decibels at the property line. And we need to figure out a way to
Yeah,
know whether that'll be met.
Yeah.
Or require monitoring, noise monitoring during one of your events. I don't know if others have thoughts about, I mean, at the moment, we don't have. Other than that, you're gonna keep all the events in the barn. I don't know, whether that alone will, if you have a country western band playing, whether that'll be enough or not. I just don't know.
So 60 dB at the property line of the neighbor?
Yes, yeah, so, like probably the most relevant would be that northern property line, which is 50+ feet away. And I know that there's woods on the other side and the neighbor's home is that much further, but the measurement's taken at the property line. The other, the kind of events you've mentioned so far, things like baby showers, weddings usually have music, or you're not playing like little concert venue things, or, I'm just trying to
Yeah.
get the sense of.
No.
The band would be in the barn, or maybe sometimes outside.
Maybe sometimes outside, maybe.
Yeah.
probably in- Depending on if it's 75 people in it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm just thinking of the venues I've been to, whether it's Bigelow Brewing or, up in,
Skowhegan.
yeah, Skowhegan, or, there's one up in Madison I've been to, actually, my wife's cousin has one in Massachusetts, on their dairy farm. I'm not quite sure how to approach this, I don't know. Our options are, well,
How about wait and see?
what's that?
Wait and see, they have to have a real loud, big party at some point in time, and it gets loud and they complain, well, then we can approach it.
Well, yeah, that's what we'd like to avoid.
Yeah, I understand that, but then it's hard sometimes to project what's gonna happen in the future. The intent sounds like it to me, it's relatively small. But sometimes it can get out of control, so that's life.
Yeah, I think they just say they're gonna keep it within 60 decibels.
Well, they do,
Yeah.
it says it right here,
Yeah,
no amplified.
Yeah, they agree. They agree.
Noise ordinance. Yep.
Yeah.
But.
Monitored by the sheriff's department.
yeah. You
Well,
guys agree to that, right?
Yeah, I agree. It's not like it's just-
yeah, see, personally, I'm not comfortable with just that sort of,
Well, maybe they never have a venue, it's. You just know that you can't go over 60 decibels.
yeah, but how do they know that? That's the question, the only way to know is to measure it.
Yeah,
That's up to them.
well, you can
So,
buy,
Well, except we can require it, that's a provision of the ordinance.
yeah, it is.
We
required.
are going to do that.
We are gonna require that, right?
We can, that's one of our options, and I'm asking, is that the route we wanna go?
I thought we were talking about.
What? We just bought it.
There are certain limitations on the noise level, that's what they have to meet.
Right.
Oh,
Well, except as a practical matter, just, plain make-believe that somebody's gonna meet the standard, whether they know whether or not they're gonna meet it or not, don't have a way to measure it.
No, there's an app.
there's an app for it. My husband just said there's an app.
There is, to measure decibel.
Yeah, they have little decimal
Yeah,
readers.
they have readers and everything, yeah, so we could do
If
it too.
you need us to get that,
Yeah.
we'll get it.
Okay, so if you could add that to your list, that
So
you'll,
so there's an app, we'll just get an app.
We have them in the hospital because you can only make so much noise around the NICU and you
Right.
walk around with it and it reads right there on the spot.
that would be the best way, because
I'm sure Amazon-
if Hans gets a call after, on a Monday morning from somebody, but you have measurements that show that it was 45 decibels.
It's not a bad thing to just,
To have,
to
yeah.
cover ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay, very good, thank you. You solved it.
Yeah, they're $22 on Amazon.
So we'll hold that open and then when we see that in your letter, then we can check it
Yeah,
off.
we'll just say we purchased a monitor for the desk phone.
Let's see. Oh, exterior lighting plan, or you're not adding lighting, are you?
No.
Okay, so that's not.
I mean, there's a big light outside the barn.
It's already
It's
existing.
already existing light
Yeah,
outside
okay.
the barn.
So the post-development light monitoring plan is not needed, that's not applicable, information to meet parking standard. And forgive me, because, you know, I didn't see this until tonight, it was hard to know, and unfortunately, our standards come, you know, they're standardized standards that come from some engineering group and national engineering group, and it's based on 1/2 space per seat.
Yeah,
And you don't have seats,
yeah,
so I guess a seat is a person, maybe the equivalent of a person almost, I guess.
I think.
And
it
you
was-
got seating, you got parking for 30 cars, and
32.
2 of those are handicapped.
Yeah,
Well, the handicap one. Separate one. Or is it part of the thing? Oh, okay.
So 75 people. If you're gonna get 30 cars in there,
yeah, 2.2.
32.
Oh.
It's 32.
I mean, we really could have more, because the driveway goes all the way.
anybody smarter than I've done the math to figure out whether, it looks like you might, according to the ordinance, you might need 5 more parking spaces.
And we can fit them in.
Yeah, we can,
It says alternative grass parking, right?
Yes.
yes,
Yep.
Overflow.
Yep.
Oh, you have an overflow in here somewhere?
yeah, near the house, when you.
Or is it in here?
Yeah. I think
Okay,
it's-
sorry, like I said, I didn't get the
Yeah,
review.
she just made it up, but she couldn't be here. I'll take a look at it. So there's proposed parking for 20 cars, 2 at the stand, and then 10 near the house.
Okay, all right, so we'll adequate parking then?
Yeah.
And all this, okay, information to meet parking standard complete.
When you do have the parking, being on the lawn and stuff, will it be marked parking or will it?
I think we're gonna mark it just as state, we have like cones, but I think we'll probably do chalk too for the particular event so that it's,
Yeah,
there's continuity and people can.
Well,
Well,
yeah, I've been to farm to dinner events like at Norland's Farm in Livermore, and they didn't mark there, and it's like a goat rodeo.
Yeah.
People park, you know, like
Yeah.
taking up 3 spaces.
Chris's Market.
So one time I pulled in and people were parked this way and.
Yeah.
You know they're from out of town.
We're out of state.
Like, you start a trend. Okay.
Okay, so a written statement from the fire chief on the capacity of fire department to provide adequate protection. Again, that's gonna come with, that's our obligation to get that from the fire chief. The written statement from fire sheriff department approving proposed security measures. I don't believe that's applicable. Other information to meet public safety and emergency services, that's not applicable. Information to meet screening of structures, parking lots and non-residential uses standard. I believe that's been met or will be met once you have the. To scale profile face on view of proposed signs. There's a description of it in the application, but we don't have an actual.
I'll have Aurora send that, I'll have that sent to Heinz, picture of the sign.
Yeah, if you could just add that to your list. Stormwater management plan, I don't personally think that's applicable, but I'd be open to what others think. And I say that because,
No new proposed.
yeah, there's no new major construction.
Really flat around there.
Yeah. I mean, there would be, probably will be compaction of the lawn area from the vehicles, which will generate more stormwater runoff than there is now, but it'd probably be not that much. Cause these aren't large areas. Okay, so not applicable. Other information to meet stormwater management standard, not applicable. Surface wastewater disposal site evaluation form, that's not applicable because there's no new septic system being proposed. Other information to meet waste standards. Let's see, I believe that's in the application. Obviously, you're composting some and some is going to the transfer station.
Yeah.
I think that's complete. Others feeling. Groundwater quality and quantity impact assessment, that's not applicable in this case. Copy of deed restrictions related to drinking water and groundwater protection, that's not applicable. Copy of Maine drinking water program, public water supply approval and source water protection plan. We'll wait on that until you find out. Oh, well, you're gonna, well, until we get the information about bottled water.
I mean, wouldn't that be in there?
Just hold off.
Copy of DEP stormwater management permit, that's not applicable. Phosphorus export control method, that's not applicable. Again, no new construction. Other information to meet water quality standard, that's not applicable. Supplemental site plan requirements. Okay, so now we're into a whole bunch of things that have to do with gravel mining and other kinds of mining, and all those are not applicable. Down to there. So then there's some standards that in the ordinance that have to do with overnight accommodations. So those bunkhouses aren't meant for over.
They're meant for us.
Wait a minute.
So I live in a shed.
Okay, I don't know that I really wanna know anymore. So are we all comfortable with that not being applicable? And then all the others have to do with.
Like that, none of our business.
Yeah, don't wanna know. Visual, there's a whole bunch about telecommunication towers, wind power, and solar power facilities, and all those are not applicable. Okay, so, just to recap, the items that will, need information about or need at our next meeting to determine that your application is complete is the, copy of your deed. The, information whether or not DOT, requires a permit, one of the two types of permits. The, information about your, how you're gonna handle your drinking water. And some documentation regarding the restaurant license. You know, even if you have an email acknowledging the receipt. of that, that would, and then that would give us the basis to say, okay, we can approve this with the condition that, and somebody stop me if you think I'm overstepping here, but, that, when you get that license, you can't start operation obviously until you get that license. And, that would be a condition of our approval.
Okay.
So, adding items, that we discussed, to the, site plan. What I have is the, location of the porta johns, location of the dumpster, location of the well, location of the septic. Did I miss anything? Is that what you have on your list?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you were all set with vegetation. So we don't-
Yeah, we have that,
Yeah, good. Okay.
Google Earth image or.
Oh, and then the decibel monitor.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah, and then the next thing that we're holding open, and this is related to the DOT permits, is the information needed to meet the access to public street standards, because that'll meet this set as well. And, what is our responsibility, providing a copy of the application to the fire chief. Hans does that as a matter of course. And hopefully he will come back to us with a written statement. So that's our obligation. The two other items I have is, has to do with noise and you're gonna add something about monitoring the noise during the events and, probably keeping a record of it. So that if Hans gets a complaint, he can call you and get your records. Does that sound reasonable to you, Hans? And, to scale profile of your sign, just a nice sign. And then, again, the information that you're gonna provide about using bottled water will meet the, item that we'll hold open regarding the, registration with the Maine Drinking Water Program. Frankly, that'll make them happy because they have so many, they have a hard time keeping track of
Oh, okay.
them. I mean, they got tens of thousands of these things. And it's a good way to go because, there are some minimum water quality monitoring requirements that go with that. More so than just your private well. And that's all I have on my list. Was that?
I had the contractor information.
We don't need that.
There's no contract. right?
Yeah, that's not applicable because, there's no new construction.
And DOT, you were gonna hold over.
Yes, correct. They're gonna contact DOT.
Question regarding the sign.
Put a bar in the house.
Okay.
You currently have a sign down there with. Water damage. Is that currently illuminated?
Oh, okay.
No.
No, it's not.
Appreciate it.
But you are gonna have an illuminated sign.
There's already power run over to it, through the sign existing. But I didn't put a light or anything, I mean.
Exterior, illuminated exteriorly.
On the sign, there isn't.
Now, when you do have illumination,
We're gonna do it.
that's gonna be,
You know what, honestly, we'd probably get one of those solar tractor supplies.
Yeah.
You just put them like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's a good question because with their standards that they have to be shielded downward facing.
Yeah, and you know, the solar ones they have now, it
Yeah.
would be like like the one that's on the barn, similar to that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If we did.
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, right now, there's no plans.
We'll put it right there.
All right. So we obviously can't approve this as being complete tonight. And, so we'll pick up this. Whatever the next meeting that you want to attend, I don't know if it's still the next meeting in August.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then, so this is gonna draw things out by one meeting. Because after that meeting, and we've approved everything that it's complete, then only at that point will Hans notify, the landowners, your nearby neighbors. 500 feet from your property. So. All right, any questions for us or?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you. Helen.
All the questions.
I'll probably call you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Have a good night.
So Hans, you want to keep
Good night.
Good night.
this original?
Thanks.
Thank you. Actually, hopefully, Sarah will get stuck with that next time. Oh, God, almost 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
Some people gotta go to work.
I can donate 3 hours or something.
What's that?
I said 3 hours is about my max. Civic. duty.
Love my max.
So, were we expecting the lakes and natural resources?
No, but we told them we were gonna discuss it.
Oh, okay, and, well,
We should probably
we,
discuss that when Sarah's there anyway.
I mean, I don't want this to go too late. I mean, you guys gotta work. I don't, but not that I'm rubbing it in. But,
It's already had 15 feet in it.
what I was gonna suggest is that we discuss, the next, item, and then, why don't we terminate the meeting then?
You wanna approve the minutes?
Or you want to approve the minutes and,
Yeah,
Call it.
yeah.
okay. That's what we'll do then.
Sorry, no.
Okay, that's what we'll do.
Now, just before we do the minutes, Sarah sent a memo today. I don't know how many people have seen it.
Oh, I didn't see it.
It's
Oh,
on,
It's printed.
It's in the packet.
Oh.
Too, but, she said that, basically there's been discussion about changing the recommendations that they had, and I didn't know whether Sarah had inside information or where she got the information, so there've been ongoing discussions. Do you know anything about that?
I know not.
That's what I was saying, just wait for Sarah, anyways.
Yeah.
Get it right from the horse's mouth.
When she called me to ask if I could chair the meeting, she did mention something about this, but I was under the impression that somebody from the Lakes and Natural Resources was gonna be here and present a new proposal. And to be honest with you, I didn't really understand what she was describing, and I didn't see this email until you mentioned it, Rich.
Wasn't that the way they left it last time? They come back and discuss it with us further.
No, we were supposed to discuss it.
Yeah, we were gonna discuss it amongst ourselves some more, but
What's the agenda for next month? Next meeting, right, next week?
It's full.
It's open,
No, it's full.
it's full,
Right,
how full?
because well, we're gonna have 7 Lakes Alliance on top of subdivision
Yeah.
and continuation of this one.
yeah. We're paying penance for having been off a month. This is what's happening here.
Sorry, there's no rush on that. Lakes region, that. There's no rush on that, so when we can get to it, we can get to it.
Wanna table it?
Let's do the minutes
Yeah.
You wanna table it?
and then we're gonna call it a night.
George, should we table the other thing or?
Yeah, we'll, so if I could have a motion to table, let's see, both the, shoreland ordinance proposal from the Lakes and Natural Resources Committee. And also the discussion of pesticide fertilizer ordinance change, which I assume is
Yeah,
related to your proposal.
Are you
If I could
okay
have a-
with tabling?
oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll make the motion as a matter of fact.
I'll make a motion that we table the Natural Resources Committee shoreline zoning proposal and the pesticide fertilization and fertilizer ordinance change
All right,
till a later date.
second,
I second that.
Nick seconds it. All in favor? Rich, yes?
Yeah,
Yes,
Nick?
Yes.
Yes, I also, yes, okay, unanimous. Okay, let's move on to the minutes. These are the minutes from July 17th. Everybody all set? Anything on the first page?
I had, question, I must have been sleeping, but what was the presentation that we tabled? It's in the third paragraph down just before new business. On the first page,
Oh, first page,
George made a motion to table his presentation to the following meeting. And I'm wondering, what was the presentation? I don't.
It didn't say in the video either. So I listened to the video. I took notes, but I still listened to the video and.
Well, wasn't it the draft of the SLZ ordinance? Are you gonna make some changes to it? No,
Well, we can all pretend whatever we know what the presentation was. But anyway, the following meetings tonight.
Well, remember, I came in 15 minutes late to that. meeting.
right,
And so I might have met, but I listened to the video and I didn't get it either.
I think that's the same thing as later in the meeting. I think that same item is covered on two other items. One is
Multifamily dwelling thing.
yeah, and also the guidance on salt ordinance. So I think we can strike that on the first page, because it's covered on the last page.
Mhm. The other comment I had is on page one again. Decision, under new business, the paragraph starting decision. And I'm thinking it was decided that items were lacking in the application. So the board would wait on approving the application. I'm wondering if the board would wait in determining the application was completed until the next meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's correct.
And that's it.
Well,
It did, wait. Yeah, say wait and determining the application was completed.
okay. Determining.
Anybody else have something on page one?
Yeah, you should strike, findings of facts using. From the sentence above that, Sarah proceeded with findings of facts using. She just wants you to check those.
Okay, thanks.
Oh. Yeah, that's right.
Did you get that one?
No, we were talking.
First page, under discussion, last sentence. Strike findings of facts using those 4 words. Because we didn't do findings of.
Where are you?
A. Under discussion.
Okay.
Last two line, last sentence.
Sarah proceeded with findings of facts.
Yeah, so.
Sarah,
checklist.
Sarah proceeded with the checklist, so strike findings of facts using.
Sarah proceeded with the template,
Check.
The checklist.
with the checklist.
Just draw a line through findings of that using.
Those 4 words better come out.
Okay, Sarah proceeded with the checklist on findings of fact.
No,
No. So Sarah proceeded with, then take out findings of fact using, take those 4 words out.
So Sarah proceeded with the checklist.
With the checklist.
Yeah, so findings of fact using has to come out.
Oh, findings of fact, facts using. Oh, okay, Sarah proceeded with the checklist.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's it.
Here's,
Period.
oh, okay, so don't write the checklist. Sarah proceeded,
no, write the checklist.
yeah, gotcha. I wrote the checklist. and then
No
I
wonder
had-
why we've gotta call this meeting early.
Thank you.
Anything on page 2? I have a couple of items, on, C, the BLNRC. 1, 2, 3, third line down, that starts with to give the board time to work. And make a decision. Was it really to make a decision, or were we just to discuss it or work on it? So I would suggest eliminating at the words "and make a decision."
Okay,
And then further down, same page, under subdivision application review. Third line. Approve the proposed revisions. With the Belgrade Planning Board, strike with the Belgrade Planning Board. And insert instead, to the findings of fact and law.
to the findings of fact in law.
So it would read, Craig made a motion to approve the proposed revisions to the findings of fact and law.
Gotcha.
Anybody else have something on that page? Okay, next page. Last page.
Well, last page, Oh. Discussion, just before adjournment. Ordinance amendment waiving permit requirements for structures in place less than 72 hours. I think was discussed. We did. I think that's all we did last week was discuss the issue, right?
Well,
We
Yeah,
weren't
she's
getting
got
a
it under discussion. Right?
I guess so.
I mean, I don't know,
All right.
that's the way I read it.
That might make sense.
Yeah, it's under discussion.
Was it requirements or requirement? Plural,
Like it doesn't give a vote or anything.
It stayed away.
leave it, okay, cause I heard you say requirements, so
I thought the same thing, but then I was like, well, she has it under discussion, but.
I have something in the first paragraph under the guidance salt ordinance, that first line. George believes the document is accurate. He submitted it to actually it was the select board I submitted it to, rather than the town manager.
oh, okay,
And then in the next line down, where it says he awaits her reply, just say he awaits a reply.
okay,
I mean, I did send it to Lorna as well, but I was really sending it to the select board.
okay.
Anything else? Can I have a
So you
motion
wanted to read, he submitted it to the select board seeking confirmation that it's what the select board wanted, or it's just what they wanted,
That's fine.
leave it like it
Yeah,
is,
yeah, that's fine.
okay.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
Make a motion to approve July 17th, 2025's minutes as amended.
Second.
I second that.
All those in favor, Rich? Pete?
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yes,
Yes.
and I am okay with it as well, so 5 in favor, none opposed.
I think we don't tell you adjourn.
I second.
Very good one.
So I left here at 9 o'clock Tuesday night.
yeah.
So I-
Oh,